Love it or hate it, you know what No Man's Sky is. It released 2 years ago, and while it did have a lot of enjoyable aspects to it, it got maybe like deservedly a lot of backlash, and that's due to the fact that there was a lot of promises made before the game's release, or at least alluded to, that definitely didn't come to fruition with the full release, and it left fans really cold. But Hello Games went away and spent the last 2 years releasing a bunch of free updates, and now we've hit the point of No Man's Sky Next, which is what I'm looking at here today. No Man's Sky promises a world of 19 quintillion planets, and basically it gives you sort of ideas of complete freedom, and it gave you these thoughts of finding other people in the universe despite it being so impossible in terms of its odds of seeing other people. No Man's Sky Next takes a lot of the criticisms it's gotten from the last 2 years, including sort of improvement on base building, which they did implement in the last year or so. But the main thing people wanted was multiplayer, and No Man's Sky Next brings 4-player multiplayer. It also brings a third-person viewpoint, as well as many other upgrades and sort of improvements that I honestly am not going to go into here, just because it's just going to be a long list, boring list, and hearing me talk about the game in the first place isn't the most exciting video anyway. So going on and on as a list of bugs and improvements isn't going to help. If you want to go see what they've made or changes they've made over the last 2 years, if you haven't touched it in 2 years and you want to say, hey, why should I look back now, look into that. But I think the main part you need to know is that you can have your own freighter now, which was a big deal. You can play with up to 3 other people. You can build bases, and then you can also take that base with you to other worlds. So even though the game is all about exploration, which I'll get to now in a moment, if you like a planet and you want to hang out there for a few hours, you now can, and it feels like there's a reason for it, because you can build a base and drop down your refinery and drop down all your equipment and sort of improve everything, see what the planet has, find what the planet has, level up, find new wards. There's a lot to do in the game, and it may not have a lot of purpose, but a lot of these types of games kind of don't. But No Man's Sky actually does still have a storyline. And there is a bit of a juxtaposition, as in that some of the enhancement that's been added to the game is about you settling down on a single location. And that's kind of half true and half not true, because like I said, you build a base and you can do that and sort of with up to 3 friends build a base together and sort of set a new home for yourself. The thing is though, is you can eventually pick it up and take it with you to another planet, so it always feels a bit temporary, which is a great idea. I think the fact that you don't have to rebuild from scratch again each time, it's just a great quality of life decision that I really welcome. But as I said, No Man's Sky Next is all about exploration. Well, at least to me it was. So if you're, like I said, if you're looking for the full breakdown of everything the game has, I would suggest you watch this video and maybe a few others people's opinions, because I think it's one of those games where people are going to like very specific things and talk about them, and people are going to dislike certain things, and then people aren't going to touch on every single point of it, like from its own element table to how you get currency by scanning animals and flora and fauna, and sort of finding these chemicals and elements which are then used to upgrade your ship. But then there's people that just want to get to the center of the universe, and then there's also the Atlas Rising storyline. There's a ton of game here if you're looking for it, and it sort of encompasses or incorporates the things that help for every single style. My style that I played No Man's Sky Next was very much a chill game. It was absolutely adored the 65 Days of Static soundtrack. It was just enjoy the absolute crazy alien beauty. The art style in this game, it cannot be understated just how unique it feels. Like those, I guess, 60s, 70s, 80s sci-fi books and movies you've read and you've seen, that it kind of encapsulates that so well. And I just love just exploring, seeing all these crazy animals, seeing the environment, the plants, and listening to the music, and just going from planet to planet and seeing how different it was each time. And another thing about this game is it's a huge graphical improvement. I played this game and originally reviewed it 2 years ago for PlayStation 4. I thought it looked a bit chunky at times. It looked a bit aliased. Moving into a new planet always really tanked the performance. Here it's much improved. At times when you're going into the atmosphere, it can still chug a little bit, even on Xbox One X. But I think visually it's an absolutely stunning game. It's a type of game, like I feel like if this is just a walking simulator, you could just say this is an incredible walking simulator, just because there's just so much beauty to explore and enjoy. But you don't have to do that. You can become a trader. You can go searching for alien artifacts and then go to the space station and sell that stuff and make a lot of money and improve your ship and get bigger ship. You can be an explorer. You can basically be a pirate. Just go around killing everything. Just making money that way. There's just so much to talk about. I definitely haven't put nearly enough time into it. I've put in a couple dozen hours, but I feel like that's kind of not enough to fully get every side of the game. So even though this is maybe going to be titled the review, this is more my experience with the game, because I think you will have a very different experience as well. I think everyone will have a different experience. I think it's one of those games where it's, as I call them, water cooler games, where you will be playing the same game, but your story that you can tell your friend is so different than they will tell you that it's worth experiencing. And the fact that you can play it in 4 players just makes that experience even better. But yeah, to sort of bring it all back as a little quick verdict, if you didn't like No Man's Sky 2 years ago, this doesn't change a whole lot. But what it does is it brings so much quality of life changes. It adds so much to it that people are looking for, like multiplayer, like incredible visuals, a lot more content, a lot more freedom. Like I said, this could be a game where you do the storyline and it's all about the exploration and moving on forward, or you could literally hang out for a few hours. It's just one of those games that sort of feel endless in the best way possible, but also always feel like you're making progress. It's to me, it's a special game, and like I said, it's not for everyone, but for me, it definitely struck a chord.